A very warm welcome to you. Thanks for taking time out of your busy schedule to be here. We most certainly appreciate it. We want to make sure that you get as much value for your time as we can possibly pack in. A, I want to keep this really short. B, we want to focus on some new technology will be the first few minutes of this presentation, and how as a company we're going to be using that technology to ultimately create a series of products that we want you to be able to profit from in a number of different ways. Now, we'll give you a couple of examples of technologies that have created huge upside benefit for early adopters, and then we want to relate that experience to this tech and give you just a bit of a sense of how you can ultimately position yourself for maximum gain from what it is we're talking about today. Before we do any of that, we're going to do a little bit of time traveling. We're going to go back all the way to 1989 and really talk a little bit about Web 1.0. So this is really the first iteration of the internet, and this was ultimately, of course, a read-only environment for the most part. This is how it's considered by experts. Very few people creating content, mostly people absorbing content. Now that changed greatly with Web 2.0, where things moved from static to much more dynamic and also user-based content. So many more users were providing content in Web 2.0, and this was obviously the home, of course, of the social media explosion. So regardless of how you feel about social media, whether it's nothing but pure benefit for society, or whether it's rotting everyone's brains, or maybe you sit somewhere in between in the middle, of course, Web 2.0 became a much more widely used environment. Also, we saw, of course, some very interesting opportunities come within the Web 2.0 development platform. And this is a slide that I don't have to probably say too much about, which is quite amazing to me now. You consider in 2023, I think it's 2023, so you take a look at the gold color of this, and most of you automatically recognize this Web 2.0 tech as cryptocurrency, and specifically the mother of all cryptocurrencies, which was Bitcoin. Now, depending on how you position yourself, of course, with this tech, and I was not one of those early adopters that have multiple seven figures sitting in a bank account because of it. But that's, I remember when YouTube came out and asking myself, who on earth would want to use this and why? How ridiculous. So certainly don't, when it comes to capitalizing on some of the newest technology, I have to admit, I've certainly fallen into one of those categories where I didn't see the total vision of some of these projects like the owners and the developers did in the early stages. But I'm also trying my very best to become more open-minded so I can see opportunities early on when I didn't see them in the past. And Bitcoin, I think, falls into this category for many of us. I'm assuming that none of you on this call became Bitcoin multimillionaires, or you probably would be elsewhere. But the good news, of course, is new technology always brings new opportunities. And that certainly is the case with the most recent iteration of the internet, Web 3.0. So this is essentially designed to be built in a decentralized environment on top of a blockchain. And with that, it's going to bring many more user benefits. We're going to talk about one of those benefits in just a minute, but this is really going to be the home of decentralized finance, of smart contracts, of NFTs, and of this tech. Now, this McKinsey and Company report, and this is a very extensive report, talking about what they're projecting to be our next multi-trillion-dollar megatrend. Now, this term, the metaverse, is probably going to be a big surprise, because most of us just think the metaverse is a place for our kids or our nieces or nephews or grandchildren to be holding their video games and playing with each other in more of an open, immersive space. But that is actually not the case. It's going to have applications for virtually all age groups. And in fact, one of the things that we're going to be focusing on this presentation over the next 25 minutes is really showing you how this company, M3TAMOGULS, is going to be using this particular technology for adults, for, in fact, you'll learn in a minute, entrepreneurs to capitalize on. So take a look at this chart. Now, keep in mind, of course, we're projecting this into the future. This is why you don't see the extreme ups and downs, the bull markets and the bear markets like you did in the previous Bitcoin chart. But nevertheless, you get the idea of being in front of a tech like this and how it can put the wind in your sails as an entrepreneur and really pull you to success in a way that only these types of technologies and being in front of them can do. So let's discuss just for a little bit more exactly what the metaverse is and why McKinsey & Company and so many other experts are projecting that this is going to have more of an impact on your quality of life than the first versions of the internet did upon their release in 1989. Now, for me, hearing that statement, it felt like a lot to swallow because we all know, of course, as adults now, how much of an impact the internet actually has on our lives. Regardless of how you interface with it, what you do, it's all encompassing. We're interacting with the internet on a daily basis, constantly. Some people have it on their smartwatches when they're even checking emails and messages from friends. So almost every hour of every day, they're interfacing with the internet in some way. So what exactly is the metaverse and how is it going to change things? Well, here's the easiest way to wrap your head around it. Think of the internet as you know it today, Web 2.0, as a two-dimensional environment. So regardless of whether it is your smartwatch or your smartphone or a tablet or a laptop, any way that you interact with this two-dimensional space is going to change significantly with the metaverse adding another dimension. I'll let that sink in just for a second because it sounds truly strange. And I'm sure in 5 years, it won't sound strange at all. But we're going to create now, experts and infrastructure technologists, all of these new companies that are rallying around this technology. And you'll learn, in fact, in a moment, some of the companies that are pouring billions of dollars into this are going to create a three-dimensional immersive internet. So to help you wrap your head around the concept and also get a sense of what kind of a disruption this is going to be, some of the biggest industries in the world, let's all watch this little 3-minute video together.
The metaverse is the next multi-trillion-dollar megatrend. It'll bring with it the next generation of the internet and new ways to experience and interact with the world. This technology shift is creating new economies, new products and services, and even new digital assets that owners can control and profit from. Metaverse development is moving full speed ahead for companies like Apple, Microsoft, and Google, who are making massive investments in this astounding technology. The world's best-known and most popular brands are also lining up to be included. The following is a list of industries expecting a change from the metaverse. Conferencing and events. The global video conferencing market was valued at $7 billion in 2022 and is projected to reach $17 billion by 2030. In June 2022, Forbes magazine asked the question, "Is the metaverse the future of live events and conferencing?" With virtual event planners reporting an increasing demand for more interactive online experiences where users can participate in fully immersive conference calls and meetings, the answer is a resounding yes. The ability to transcend location and even languages will change the way we connect with each other. Education. The metaverse will take learning and discovery to a new level. Rather than the tedious monotony of sitting at a desk, learning will become active. Students will travel to new places, experience times in history, and fully immerse themselves in a three-dimensional world for every exciting new lesson. Travel and experiences. The northern route of Mount Everest is mapped and ready for your ascent. The deepest tombs within the Great Pyramids are not open to the public, but they are open for you to explore without leaving your living room. Dive through crystal-clear underwater caves, or enjoy peaceful sights and sounds as you meditate in a forest grove. Surrounding you in high-definition virtual reality, the list of adventures is almost limitless. Socializing and networking. The metaverse will bring new forms of social interaction and collaboration, allowing people to communicate and work together in ways never before possible. Your social media apps will also take on a completely new dimension as you immerse yourself fully in 3 dimensions rather than just flipping through posts on a phone screen. Imagine a dating app having its own coffee shop, club, or list of activities for you to meet new people for the first time before connecting in person. Gaming. Gaming within the metaverse is expected to grow from $22.7 billion USD to a record $119 billion within only 5 years. The reason is obvious to gamers: sitting in front of a laptop or becoming a three-dimensional part of the action. This enormous industry is set to explode again. Why should any of this interest you? M3TAMOGULS is encompassing many of these new industry breakthroughs into our own metaverse. When you share any of these new experiences with others, you earn rewards. When someone in your network shares with others, you earn again. And you will continue to earn rewards as your network grows. You'll also receive your own hub account, a tracking system wallet where you can spend, transfer, and withdraw your rewards. This new virtual landscape will change the way you socialize, learn, and earn. Welcome to M3TAMOGULS.
So I hope that gave you a bit of a sense as to the really unbridled potential of this type of a technology and how it can start impacting us really on a daily basis. We'll talk a little bit more about this in a moment. First of all, let's a quick introduction to who we are as a company. M3TAMOGULS is a team of professionals that are specializing in Web 3.0, the blockchain, smart contracts, and also have experience building out metaverse environments already. This is really important to understand. This is not their first rodeo. They have built these spaces in the past and are extremely experienced in this type of work. So there are countless hours have been poured into research and development in preparation to launch the world's first metaverse for entrepreneurs. I said that correctly. This is going to be a space for entrepreneurs. And so if you're here looking at potentially how this technology can create an additional income source for you, you are absolutely looking at the right project at the right time. Now, one of the priorities, of course, in building a metaverse for entrepreneurs is making sure that members can earn through every stage of development. We're in the stage that we're in right now is called the pre-launch stage, and we've got some wonderful ways to earn. We're going to talk about those in just a few minutes. But added to that, as this space continues to develop, are going to be ways to generate profits from populating the metaverse, immersive conferencing that we saw in that short video, travel and experiences, and all of the benefits that can come from that. And this is not necessarily talking about replacing the family vacation, but really adding to a list of incredible experiences that one as an individual or family may have on an ongoing basis. Decentralized finance and some of the incredible opportunities that are coming down that channel. Retail. By the way, when it comes to retail, I think you might be surprised at some of the global brands that already have fully built out three-dimensional immersive metaverse stores and some of the benefit that can come from that. Education, I think, is going to be huge in the space. Fitness, also very, very large. And we're looking to encompass all of these types of concepts and more for you to be able to not only align with as services that you can take advantage of, but also be able to benefit financially as other people take advantage of them. All right, let's talk about how ultimately you do take advantage, because we have an internal currency that we refer to as sphere rewards. You'll see the term sphere rewards and the metasphere. What the heck is the metasphere? Because we're just talking about the metaverse. The metasphere is actually the name that the tech guys have actually coined for this exact build out, this particular project, the metasphere. And so this is why, of course, our internal dollar is called a sphere reward. Now, first of all, when it comes to earning sphere rewards, there is going to be a long, long list for you to do so. And the most obvious are going to be things like activities, ways that you participate in contests and giveaways and games. And then, of course, the list of the things that we listed on the previous slide, and which will be ongoing, constantly growing as the project continues to develop. But also spending sphere rewards. One of the reasons we wanted to have them in the first place is so this is a seamless currency that you can acquire and also can use inside the space. Now, acquiring land, passive NFTs, avatars to actually move around inside an immersive space is just but a few ways that you'll actually be able to spend your sphere rewards. And I think probably most important to most of you is how ultimately you could convert these sphere rewards into dollars that you can use in the real world to improve your quality of life. We're looking to build a digital world that can improve your life in the real world. And that's going to be done in a number of ways where you can convert your sphere rewards to your favorite cryptocurrencies, or ultimately you'll be able to load those onto a debit card. We're even looking to offer fiat services in some markets where you can even wire transfer your bank account. Making this as easy as possible to convert Sphere Rewards into real dollars wherever you live in the world is a key priority of the project. Now, I'm going to play a 90-second video for you. Think of this as sort of a bit of a peek behind the technical curtain. You're going to see elements of the project that are actually under construction right now by a development team. So you have a quick look at this.
The metaverse is coming and is commanding serious attention from the global business community and individuals alike. It is on track to become the next multi-trillion megatrend. Welcome to the MT-TAMOGULS Metasphere, a virtual world for aspiring moguls. There are 3 easy steps to success. Step 1, choose your avatar. Every MT-TAMOGUL avatar is totally unique and made in 3D and is VR ready. Avatars are released in limited runs with the first series ready for release. Step 2, buy your land. The Metasphere is separated into 4 distinct areas. Mogul City, beachfront, mountains, and countryside. Carefully select the area you wish to hold land. Each separate region unlocks its own unique benefits and rewards. Step 3. Build your empire. Start with a custom home and expand your empire from there. Grab additional limited run NFTs as they become available to customize both your avatar and your land. Each NFT you acquire is connected to your growing empire via smart contract, so they can begin generating rewards to you immediately. See you in the Metasphere.
So there was 3 key steps that the young lady already in that video shared with you. And step number 1 was choose an avatar. Now, it's important you understand, first of all, just like you saw in that meeting center, that those avatars are full 3-dimensional characters and they're VR ready, which means, of course, virtual reality. And you can move through these digital spaces with these digital representations of you. They're built in extremely high quality. They're built on ERC 721A smart contracts that you own. And there are 4 primary series, starting with Select, Premier, Silver, and Gold. And we'll talk about the benefits in an itemized list for you as we wrap this presentation up in a few minutes from now. First thing you need to understand is that those 3 steps, well, step number 2 was choose your land. And it was mentioned in that video that the Metasphere is separated into 4 distinct areas: the city itself, mountains, countryside, and waterfront. And also was shared is that you can select areas with which you want to hold land. And one of the things that's very interesting and compelling is there are a different set of rewards and benefits for different parts of the Metasphere. It's going to be a lot of fun. Also, build your empire is step number 3. Now, the thing that's very interesting about this step is the passive NFTs that were mentioned in that video. And in fact, in that video, you saw a couple of different types of passive NFTs. You saw a sports car that was cruising through the city, and you also saw custom homes. I believe you saw them in the mountain region on the cliff. You saw them in the waterfront region, and you also saw very large homes in the countryside. Obviously, you didn't see any homes in the city, but each region has its own custom home series, and they all fall under the passive NFT category. So what this means is not only when you own one of those custom homes, will you automatically start generating Sphere rewards just through ownership, but you'll also be able to use those spaces in any way you want because they'll belong to you. Remember, those are full 3-dimensional build-outs. So every square inch of that house, you'll be able to wander through. You'll be able to invite guests over, even friends that are not part of MT-TAMOGULS. You'll be able to issue day passes to them where they can actually just use their standard laptop or their desktop computer. They do not need to have a VR headset, and they can come visit that home and have a look inside the space. So this gives them a wonderful opportunity as a sneak peek to decide whether they want to participate in the project with you. All right, so let's move. We've obviously, in the beginning of the presentation, we were talking about technology that's driving all of these changes. And then we shifted to the products that are MT-TAMOGUL-based products during pre-launch specifically. And now we want to focus on how all of these things can ultimately generate Sphere rewards for you, which of course are ultimately converted into real currency. So let's talk about the rewards plan as we wrap up. First thing we need to do is make sure that we read our disclaimer to you. Now, everything that we're going to state over the next several slides is for information purposes only. All the earnings are hypothetical. The company can make no projections nor guarantees. Also, it is fact that individual results may vary greatly and are dependent on a number of factors, including your skill level, your geography, your work ethic, etc., and so forth. And then, of course, the company, because we are, I think, 3 weeks into pre-launch now, has no historical data yet. However, as we continue to move forward and members hit certain ranks or levels of achievement within the platform, we most certainly, with our finance division and legal and compliance, make sure that there are documents that have full earning ranges, low to high, for different levels of achievement. All right, so we're going to start with the hub. Now, the reason we're starting here is because this is sort of your management center. Every single member that joins as an affiliate, and that affiliate fee is $29.95 per year, is going to receive a hub. And a hub is a place where you can track and access everything that you acquire in the metaverse, including and starting with your avatar. Whether you own one or multiple series avatars, you can decide what to display in the dashboard, which you can, of course, see here. Whether you're accessing that from your telephone or a tablet or a laptop, desktop, etc. You'll also notice that you can display land there, and your passive NFTs, as they're generating sphere rewards, also can all be held and managed in this space. In addition to that, any contests, promotions, games, activities that you are successful with, all of those things will ultimately be managed within the hub. Any sphere rewards that you earn through participation will ultimately materialize here. And this is where you'll be able to convert those things to earnings, withdraw them as cryptocurrency or ultimately on a debit card or fiat. Now, let's talk about the three earning structures that are ultimately going to be the drivers of any success that you create for yourself inside or within MetaMoguls. Now, each one of these is incredibly powerful. They're all very different from each other. And I want to focus on immediate first, because this is predominantly how you're going to earn in the pre-launch phase. Now, you'll see at the bottom of that icon, avatar and land sales is what's going to be driving that. So you'll notice as we start to roll out each one of these series and the benefits for each, that we start from a select at the top and work our way all the way down to gold at the bottom. You'll also notice that each one of those avatar purchases give you different levels of access to ultimately a full 12 level unilevel. The other thing you'll notice, though, with the text at the end of each of those columns is that through personal sales, in other words, friends loving the project and deciding to purchase their own avatar, regardless of the series they purchase, will also allow you to ultimately unlock all 12 levels of depth. In other words, you can start with a gold immediately to access 12 levels in the unilevel, or you could start with a select and through making personal sales, ultimately gain full access to 12 levels as well. This is very important because making sure that we're compliant and that you don't have to buy your way into access, that's critically important in launching a long-term business project. The other thing you'll notice is there is a weighting of earnings based on the first 4 levels of the unilevel. And in fact, we take that one level further with something we call our PACE bonus. And the way that you become PACE bonus qualified is to share this project with 3 friends that make a product purchase. It doesn't matter what product it is. And when you do that and become PACE bonus qualified, the company doubles your earnings on level 1 and 2. So if you take a look at a select avatar, for example, you'll move from 25 to 50 sphere rewards. Premier will move you from 50 to 100, silver from 100 to 200, and gold from 150 to 300. Now, the reason that this is so important is when we talk about the technology itself, when we talk about the industries and the opportunities that ultimately will be available to all of us inside this metaverse and many metaverse projects, is that this is going to attract many people from many walks of life for many different regions. And apologies, many different reasons. Now, the thing is, we know, of course, as a company that many of those individuals will not necessarily have any experience at all in running a home-based business or being involved in network marketing. And so as such, we wanted to make sure that it was particularly easy right in the very beginning of this sharing with 3 friends and becoming PACE bonus qualified that it was highly rewarding. So if you take a look at this basic model where you can double your earnings in level 1 and level 2, what's happening is, of course, you're becoming PACE bonus qualified because you have 3 customers. And likewise, you're simply helping your friends become PACE bonus qualified. This would mean ultimately 3 sales on level 1, 9 sales on level 2. And you're not limited to this, of course. You can have as many personal sales as you want. But just doing this very basic of 3 friends share with 3 friends not only puts you in a position where you've earned back potentially everything you've spent in your first avatar purchase, but in many cases, you can even double. So let's take a quick look at this animation. One of the things I want you to focus on as you see this animation populating, again, that individual in the center, and that could be you in the beginning of your 12 levels, unilevels. We're showing them as concentric circles as this continues to build out. One of the things you'll notice is that you've shared with 3 friends who have shared with 3 friends who have shared with 3. Now, why is it that we're picking this strategy and this number? Well, because it's something that's quite easy to do. It falls within the average for individuals participating in a home-based business. They can successfully bring between 2 and 3 friends into a project. But B, we wanted to make sure that every single bonus, every nook and cranny that way you can earn within this platform can be accomplished, can be achieved in this 3 friends share with 3 friends model. All right, let's take a second and discuss now the passive earning structure. And as we mentioned before, this is predominantly going to be those passive earning NFTs that we talked to you about before, specifically the custom home, sports car. And keep in mind, there's going to be many other series of passive NFTs that roll out as the project continues along. The most important thing you need to understand is all that you essentially need to do is own one of these passive NFTs. But remember, we're focusing on the utility of them. So these are all going to be NFTs that you can utilize in a number of different ways, full build-outs. In addition to that, though, and in addition to the owners of these passive NFTs earning Sphere rewards simply through ownership, we want you to also understand there will be a match. So in other words, as you have individuals that own passive NFTs that are part of your growing team, there will be a match of Sphere rewards shared within your unilevel. What that means is obviously very exciting. You do not necessarily need to own a passive NFT of your own to ultimately be able to profit from them. And the last, of course, earning structure is recurring. Recurring is going to be equally powerful in that it is also going to have some incredible products that are aligned with it, but it's also going to have its own unique rewards plan that's unlocked if you choose to opt in to the recurring product lineup. All right. Now, there's always an exception to the rule, and there certainly is in this case, because I told you just a moment ago that the passive NFTs are going to be reserved for when we're about to launch and actually release the first version of our metaverse. However, that's not entirely true. We wanted to make sure that during the pre-launch, there was also an opportunity for you to earn passively as well. And the way that we've done that is something called an avatar product bundle. Now, it's pretty self-explanatory as to what that is. If you take a look at the image on the left-hand side of your slide, you can see this is a cross-section representing one from each of the series of avatars, Select, Premier, Silver, and Gold. Now, if you own one of each of those, you automatically become bundle bonus qualified. And this puts you in line to earn from the collector's pool every single month, month after month, just because you own a bundle. Now you can see the price, and this is the price of a gold plus a silver plus a premier plus a select. However, we wanted to make sure also for those of you for whom purchasing a bundle is just not feasible at this point in time, that you had a very simple roadmap where you could ultimately acquire a bundle. Now, we wanted to make sure this roadmap, A, was based on you starting with any avatar, any of the NFT avatar lineup, including a MetaPass if you happen to be in a MetaPass market. Now, the company uses geo IP address tracking to determine whether you're in an appropriate market for MetaPass or not. This is generally South Asia, South America, Central America, Caribbean countries, Africa, our MetaPass markets. And then also that all of the earnings that we're going to share with you, remember, these are all based on product sales, not recruiting. This is very important. So here's the thing you need to understand about the bundle bonus roadmap. You can ultimately reach this lofty aspiration of becoming collector's pool qualified and earning Sphere rewards automatically every single month from starting with a one-time purchase out of pocket, $300. Now, this is the only time in this roadmap that you will be out of pocket. This is very important. We wanted to make this roadmap as easy and as accessible as possible. $300 one time out of pocket. Now, the other thing we wanted to do is we wanted to focus on keeping the rewards plan as simple as we could. And one of the reasons, as I mentioned just a moment ago, is that we know many people are going to be attracted to this technology and to this ecosystem and to this product because of the technology, because of the offering, but they may not have any home-based business experience. And so we didn't want to overwhelm them with a 12-level unilevel, but rather we wanted to focus on levels 1, 2, 3, and 4 only from the beginning. If we focus on a very simple 3 friends share with 3 friends model, 4 levels in depth, that's some mathematics that the average person can wrap their head around. So let me show you exactly how this works. On our level 1, and our level 1 will always be comprised with our personal friends. If we've chosen 3 as an example, there'll be 3 people living on our level 1. Anytime you add anyone else to the project, they are all going to be added to your level 1. Likewise, level 2 will be comprised of your 3 friends, 3 friends. So their level 1 is your level 2. And of course, those 9 friends, their level 1 is your level 3. And so you can see this very basic model of 3 friends share with 3 friends. Now, one caveat we all want to focus on is everyone does this very basic thing in becoming bundle bonus qualified, sharing with 3 friends. PACE bonus qualified. It means that you now are in a position to earn double sphere rewards on level 1 and on level 2. You can see 3 people times 50 is 150 for level 1. 9 people on your level 2 times 50 is 450 on level 2. Now, as we finish populating levels 3 and levels 4, this means a total sphere rewards earnings of 2,760 sphere rewards. Now, where this takes us is very interesting because remember, the goal of this roadmap is to become bundle bonus qualified and start earning from the collector's pool. So the next natural progression, first of all, you started with $300 once out of pocket. You have 2,700 sphere rewards in your jeans. Congratulations. Not bad. Secondly, though, we would encourage you then to purchase the next avatar in the series. The next natural step, progressive step would be a Premier series. And as your team on levels 1, 2, 3, and 4 follow this example, because they also want to become bundle bonus qualified, this will earn an additional 6,600 sphere rewards for you. And as you can probably already imagine, the next progressive step is purchasing a silver series. And as your team follows, this would create an additional 13,000 sphere rewards in earnings. And the last step, of course, in becoming qualified would be purchasing a gold. And as that team follows, you're earning an additional 19,000 sphere rewards for a grand total of 42,360 sphere rewards. Not bad. Especially not bad because this is a part-time project for you. So even if this took you 6 months or 8 months or 12 months to accomplish, this is a heck of a supplemental income. But one of the things I want you to pay particularly close attention to is, and especially if you've never built a home-based business before, these business models are always based on exponential growth. In other words, one of the greatest strengths of them is that you can leverage yourself in these environments. And the best way to leverage yourself is to keep things simple. And this is why it says in teal writing right at the top below the title, learn and share this simple strategy. You getting started, sharing with 3 friends so you're PACE bonus qualified and assisting them to do the same. That is all that is required to accomplish what we're going to be rolling out for you. Now take a look at the second box, the one on the right-hand side. This shows the population for each of your 4 levels, 3, 9, 27, and 81. And it also shows either a $650 total or a $320 total. How do we get to those totals? Well, remember, the focus not only for you, but for your team was to become PACE bonus qualified and ultimately earn from the collector's pool. Darn it. Bundle bonus qualified. I keep confusing the 2 bonuses and confusing you. I apologize. So in becoming bundle bonus qualified, 650, how did we end up at that number? Well, remember, when your 3 friends purchased a select series avatar, 50 sphere rewards from each. When they also purchased a Premier, that's 100. When they purchased a silver, that's 200. And when they ultimately purchased a gold, that's an additional 3. Add them all together, and that's how you create the 650. So what that means ultimately is on your level 1, if you only ever shared with 3 friends, you would still be earning almost 2,000 sphere rewards. Likewise, you're at almost 6,000 for level 2. You're at over 8,000 for level 3 and 25 for level 4, creating the same total that we showed you on the previous slide, 42,360 sphere rewards. Now, what's interesting about this is your friends, for example, on your level 1 are looking to do exactly the same thing you've done. So they're simply going to build up their levels 1, 2, 3, 4, which are your levels 2, 3, 4, and 5. Likewise, the people on your level 2 are building out their 1, 2, 3, 4, which are your 3, 4, 5, 6, and so on and so forth. And this is how, just by following a basic strategy, you're going to also ultimately have your 5, 6, 7, 8 built out by your team 1, 2, 3, and 4. So let's take a look at what this would ultimately generate you for earnings on level 5, level 6, level 7, and level 8. Now, this is again based on 3 friends sharing with 3 and progressing through the avatar ladder to become bundle bonus qualified and earn from the collector's pool. Take a look at that total. That's incredible. An incredible number of sphere rewards simply by making sure everyone becomes pace bonus qualified by sharing with 3 friends. Now, what if you only accomplished 10% of this in your first year? That would be a fantastic success story. Incredible achievement, 20%, 30%. So the bottom line, ultimately, systems work the system, and that's how you create extraordinary results. All right, the rank advancement rewards that we're going to share with you right now are over and above everything that we've shown you to date. And by the way, remember, the only thing we've shown you is one of those earning mechanisms, and that is, remember, the immediate. And we've only shown you one product from that first earning mechanism. Ultimately, the success that you will be able to derive from this project can potentially be astronomical, depending on how serious you choose to take the project itself. So there's a couple of ranks on the screen right now. The first is Mini Mogul. The first and most obvious thing you'll see is this is based on 5,000 in total sales. So in other words, reaching Mini Mogul is a very easy thing to do. Why do we make it so easy? Because we want to celebrate your success. And the other thing we want to do is give you the ability to customize your avatar to make them a little more unique to you. The second rank is Junior Mogul, and that's at 50,000 in total sales, and you're going to receive a sphere reward bonus for that. The third rank is Boss Mogul, and you're going to receive a sphere reward bonus for reaching that. And then Elite is obviously a very significant jump in sphere rewards, 50,000. And then lastly, but certainly not least, is Mega Mogul, 500,000 sphere rewards. That is not a typo. That's very significant. In addition to that, though, and maybe even more important to many of you, as you focus on supporting friends who support friends and build a large organization, if that's an objective that you have, Elite and Mega Mogul are going to start to unlock your 12-level unilevel beyond 12 levels. So that you have an opportunity to earn from all of the growth, all of the activity that's starting to transpire beyond level 12. This is also very important. Okay. Now, we said at the end of the presentation, we will walk through some of the benefits of each of these avatar series so you can have a better idea of which is the most appropriate starting place for you. One of the first things you'll notice is whitelist collections right at the top. Now, whitelist collection is very simple. As you start to become aware of land regions available and some of the benefits and rewards from owning certain areas or certain passive NFTs, for example, to become available, you may get an early announcement of something coming and you go, that's exactly what I would like to have. Well, you can use your whitelist to essentially put your name on something and make sure that you are one of the recipients when those limited run NFTs become available. Also, you'll notice things like 10% fast start bonuses. So that's 10% right across the board, regardless of the avatar you choose. This is when your friends start purchasing those passive NFTs, you'll receive fantastic fast start bonuses. You'll also notice activity points. When we start to have contests and promotions, different activity steps that you can take inside the metaverse, ultimately that are going to generate prizes for you, you can see activity point multipliers are going to become really important to you. Cashback obviously implies some sort of a marketplace that is going to be rolling out, which is certainly the case. And if you take a look 3/4 of the way down silver, you'll notice that there is an allocation for airdrop tokens that's set aside for silver and for gold avatars. Now, one of the cool things about this, of course, is in that token drop at some point. We can obviously make absolutely no promises or speculation, but if those tokens increase in value, that will be a significant benefit to you. Also, silver and gold will also allow you to share in land sales. So if you take a look, for example, at the last bullet here, as land sales take place from that entire total, an allocation is also set aside and is going to be distributed to all silver and gold avatar owners. Now, if you fall into a category where you're purchasing a bundle immediately, you've already positioned yourself to capitalize on that. However, don't worry if you are going to follow the roadmap that we shared with you. Ultimately, when you complete that bundle bonus roadmap, you will also own a silver and you'll also own a gold. So you will also be able to benefit from those two really important earning factors. All right, let's have a quick look at our tech roadmap. Now, where we are as far as the pre-launch goes is our official site has gone live. Our marketing site is going through a constant state of evolution. In fact, one of the things that's happening over the next day is a recorded version of this presentation is being added to that site. The hub has gone live and Series 1 avatars are being released. One of the coolest things about phase 2 is going to be a charity and not-for-profit program that goes live. And that's going to offer some fantastic benefits, not only to members who bring those charities into the platform, the charity themselves, for whom we through vetted process, can actually build out meeting places, offices for those charities inside the metaverse, for their donators, their donors, and members alike that want to see what those charities are doing. Can benefit from. And then, of course, as those charities share what they're doing with others and those people join to support that charity, they'll also show up in your genealogy, rewarding you from getting the whole ball rolling in the first place. The third phase is we'll actually see a core portion of the Metasphere City Center unlocked. And this is going to be wonderful for unlocking many of the use cases that we were talking about in the earlier slides at the front of this presentation. VR library, passive NFTs. In other words, the recurring and the passive earning structures that we've talked about will also be unlocked at that time. Live events, so live events theaters, ways, for example, for authors or for companies to have conventions. Anyone who wants to have a virtual meeting place, and ticket sales, of course, are going to go where? They're going to go into the rewards plan to benefit you. So this is just the first of many use cases that will ultimately be able to benefit members and help earn Sphere rewards for them. And then, of course, we have the full launch up where we have play to earn games, experiences, retail. Retail is going to be wonderful, decentralized finance, and of course, our own token airdrop as well. So how do we move forward? Very easy. Every single person who's a member has their own referral link. They can fire it off to you. You simply decide which avatar is most appropriate for you. You can use USDC to acquire them, or you can use a credit or debit card to acquire them. And then ultimately, you want to decide what 3 friends are going to join you on this crazy adventure and start working towards reaching your first rank of success, which is Mini Mogul. So with that, I want to thank all of you very much for your time. We certainly appreciate you taking the time to be here. This project is, boy, oh boy, it's very, very exciting. And we also appreciate all the positive feedback that we're getting from all of you. We know that this is a bit of a handful to wrap your head around, but I know many of you are starting to get a real sense of the vision of this and how this is going to be able to reward you moving forward. So thanks again. We look forward to speaking with you again very soon. And keep in mind also, for those of you who are already members, next Wednesday, our head of legal and compliance is going to be on at this time slot. So same time, one day earlier, to field many of your questions regarding the legal and the compliance side of this project and what has our legal team so darn excited about our rollout of the metaverse. So with that, thanks very much. Enjoy the rest of the day if it's early for you, and have a wonderful evening if it's late for you.